welcome to the Garden City Nexus. I'm Zac King with our new Fire Chief, Randy Keene. Here today to talk with us about his new position with the city and how the department is going. Glad to have you today with us, Chief.
Glad to be here, Zach.
Awesome. So tell us a bit about yourself and where you're from.
All right. I grew up in Garden City, went to school here, graduated from Garden City High School quite a while ago. After that, I got my associate's degree, kind of worked in the private industry a little bit, got some experience doing some maintenance type issues, which is a benefit later on for some stuff with like construction and understanding building for the fire service. After that, I went back to school, got my Fire 1 and 2 and my paramedic, and then I started in the fire service. So I've been doing that since 2003 with Garden City Fire Department since 2006, hired in as a firefighter. Being from this town, obviously I'm familiar with it, very familiar with the town and the area, and I was looking forward to coming back here. I started in Novi, originally did about just under 2 years there, and then when the opportunity came to come back to Garden City, I took the opportunity to apply and came back here.
All right, so you grew up in Garden City.
I did.
Awesome. And then I know you spoke a little bit about how you got started in the fire service. What made you choose the fire service?
So I wanted to do this for a long time. Back when I initially started doing this, I was probably my early 20s. I started testing at some departments. It was very competitive. You would have a couple positions open and may have like 200 to 300 applicants for those positions. So it was very competitive, very difficult to get into. These days, it's flipped the script a little bit.
A little bit easier?
Yes, it's a lot easier now if you're interested. So what happened is I had an opportunity, the place I was working at was closing. I had an opportunity to go back to school, get the education that I would need to be able to become a firefighter. I had part of it, but I was able to get the rest of it done. So I decided with my wife that this is the time, and that's why I got into the field.
Okay. And when you started, did you know that one day you'd want to look towards being chief?
I don't think anybody does when they first start. But as my career progressed, I think that, through watching other officers that I was able to watch, be mentored by, I think that, that was a good opportunity for me to see how they did things, how things they did could change what we're doing in the department. And I think so through my process here, I hired in as a firefighter, paramedic. Then I was promoted lieutenant, first line officer. I did that for 4 years. Then I became a shift captain. Did that for just over 4 years prior to becoming fire chief. So I think I have a little bit of experience in all the roles. And then, like I said, I'm from this town, so I had a little bit of understanding and background to understand the community. I was part of the community, so I think it's a good mix and a good ability for me to see not what the community needs, but also what the department needs are. So.
All right. So you talked about the steps of moving up in the roles. When did you start the path of becoming chief? What did that look like to become chief for the fire department in Garden City?
So I think that starts when you first become an officer. It's a progressive officer. You have to become from firefighter lieutenant to captain to become chief. We have something called civil service here, so there are requirements to get to the minimums on that. You have to have 2 years in each role, and then there's a assessment center which we go through. So you go through some testing with an outside company. They evaluate you on certain criteria that are determined prior to the test. The results are turned in, and then they're certified by the civil service, and however the results come, the positions are offered in that role. So that's true for all the officer ranks. So going from captain to chief, it was the same. So went through that assessment center. I was fortunate enough to come out first, so I was able to take this role. So
that's awesome. So essentially, you and a few other officers tested for chief, and you came up on first. So that's how you got selected as Garden City's chief.
That's correct.
Awesome. So Garden City residents might have kind of have a know-how what the fire department does, maybe not. What does the chief do for Garden City?
Right, I think everybody understands what the fire department does, right? But the difference in the role for fire chief is it's more of an administrative role. I handle the budgeting, the scheduling, developing policies, updating those as well, so things that maybe have changed in the way we do things. Everybody may think like the fire service is, you put water on fire or however we do the EMS calls, but science has come into this as well for us as well. So things have changed in our processes. So trying to stay up front with those processes and keeping those policies and procedures updated to keep the guys safe and the community safe as well. So I think that's more importantly what I do rather than, I don't go on the calls unless they're serious calls. I will show up. I will be involved in those runs, and you may see me out in the community doing that. But the guys who are working daily on the shifts are the ones you'll see on the majority of the runs.
So a big administrative role, making sure the department's running every day.
Correct.
So, I mean, probably one of the most exciting things the fire department's had recently was the new fire truck. How has that looked? What was your involvement with the fire truck? How has it been going out so far?
It's a great addition to our fleet. I was fortunately involved with the previous 2 rescues that we spec'd out, so it gave me a little bit of insight how the process worked. Completely different designing a fire truck than it is an ambulance, I'll be honest with you. You design everything down to each compartment, shelving, be able to put things, tools, and accessories where we would like to do that. So I was part of that team. It was a great time. The thing that people probably don't realize is when you purchase a fire truck like that, you buy it, and right now it's probably anywhere from 24 to 40 months to be able to get that. So you have to be able to have enough forethought to design it and determine your needs in the future, not just for today. Mm-hmm. So it's a little different now than it has been in the past, but that's the way we have to go about that. But that new fire truck, it's state of the art. Previously, like you would have fire trucks where you couldn't have conversations like this in there. Like the design and the insulation and stuff in there now, you can have a conversation with the guys in the truck, talk about things on the way to the runs. So it's changed quite a bit. And then the rideability of it, it's so much different. It doesn't ride like a tank, kind of like we would describe the old ones. It rides a lot smoother and nicer. So it's a great addition to our fleet.
So did you have a chance as a firefighter to ride on that truck, or were you already promoted to chief by the time that truck came in?
I was captain for 3 months with that truck, so okay. I did get to use it a little bit. I'm kind of jealous. It was fun. It was great to ride in it, but I didn't get a very long to sit in that seat, so I kind of missed that a little bit. But I'm adapting to this new role and enjoying that as well.
That's awesome. So you've been chief now for about 6 months. What does the past 6 months look like so far, learning the role, and what are you looking forward to in the next?
So I think the past 6 months has been kind of getting my feet wet, getting into the role, figuring out exactly what goes on every day. I had that little bit, but I had days off during the week where now I'm more of the administrative role. So, and this reaches far outside our department as well. So we also go get involvement with the surrounding chiefs, have roles interacting with those, determining things like, we don't have to figure out everything here. Like we go outside, use outside resources to help us out. So I think developing those relationships, learning what things that I want to set for goals here as far as the fire department's concerned, and then bringing some new technologies and bringing some different perspective in. We've had, our previous chief served for 13 years, so obviously we have different styles. I learned a lot from the previous chief, a lot of good stuff. So I think that we just have our own stamp we put on things.
Yep.
So I think that's important that, you adapt what you had and move into the future.
Yep, that's even something I've learned here, being here the past year. Just changes coming, so. Awesome, well it sounds like the fire department's got some good things coming up. Is there any large events, can anyone come out to see? I know you guys are doing renovations over the fire department. How are those going? What does that look like?
So the station, it's been a long-awaited renovation. The station was built in the 60s and added on to in the 70s. So we're getting a complete renovation of that. That's ongoing at this time. Once that's completed, we should have a ribbon cutting or a grand opening of that station, and we'll invite the public to come check it out. And it's welcomed by the guys and me as well. So I think it'd be a great opportunity to improve one of the community buildings. Okay,
so people can look forward to the Facebook website. We'll be posting that information about the grand opening of the new fire station and all the renovations we've done, which is a pretty big addition. We're adding on to the building quite a bit.
Yeah, so adding on most of the additions to the rear, but we're updating the dorm area, the kitchen area, and even the apparatus bay where we keep the vehicles. Over time, the vehicles have gotten a lot bigger than they used to be in the 60s, so it's been difficult to fit the vehicles into the station, so this will help adapt to the future needs of the department, not just today. So I think that's important that we look to the future, not just for today. So the community expects you to be able to provide service today and into the future, not just momentarily.
All right, sounds like some awesome activities for the fire department coming up here soon. I assume residents can stay tuned to the Garden City Fire Department Facebook page at Garden City Fire Department for all those activities and more and schedules and all that. All right, that's it for the Garden City Nexus. Have a good night, everybody.